Are you living in Florida, California, or Texas? Be cautious. Within the next 12 months, some areas could see home prices plunge by 20–30%. This isn't a prediction. It's a warning based on real data. This video is made especially for viewers aged 50 and above, homeowners or soon-to-be retirees. If your entire net worth is tied to your home, you need to know which 10 U.S. states are on the brink of collapse first. We'll break down each state in detail, because some places that look like paradise are actually sitting on the edge of disaster. Number 7 and number 2 will shock a lot of people. Watch until the end to find out whether your state is on the list and what you need to do right now to protect your assets. 10. New Jersey. When a home becomes a golden cage for the elderly. In 2023, thousands of older residents in New Jersey filed appeals to the state government. They could no longer afford property taxes, even on homes they'd paid off decades ago. They're not poor, yet they're slowly being suffocated by soaring living costs. A quiet crisis is unfolding inside homes once considered safe. New Jersey currently holds the highest property tax rates in America, averaging over $10,000 per year. This is especially dangerous for retirees living on fixed incomes, where every dollar counts. Meanwhile, the state's finances are in no position to help. In 2022, New Jersey reported an emergency fund balance of zero. That means if the economy takes a downturn, the state has no second pocket to maintain public services, support residents, or provide emergency relief. The government had to launch the Stay NJ program to cut taxes for people over 65 by up to $6,500 per year as a move to respond to the backlash from elderly residents. But that's just a temporary bandage. It doesn't solve the root of the problem. The truth is, New Jersey is being squeezed by 3 tightening forces at once: high taxes, an aging population, and a weak budget. Just one shock, like a recession or a bursting housing bubble, could send the entire system into a chain crisis. The housing market in New Jersey is no longer as safe as it once was. In the context of high interest rates and soaring living costs, a silent wave of home sell-offs is spreading. Those who once viewed real estate as a safe asset are now looking for an exit. But selling isn't easy, since high maintenance costs discourage new buyers. And keeping the home means losing tens of thousands of dollars each year just to survive. New Jersey used to be the dream place for America's middle class. But today, those same homes that once symbolized stability have become a crushing burden. If you're living there, take a serious look at your financial plan. Don't wait until everything collapses to realize that you've been standing on thin ice for a very long time. 9. Nevada. Does the game end when the lights go out in Vegas? What happens to a state that lives by the light when darkness falls? In 2024, Mark and Rachel, a couple both working in Las Vegas's hotel service industry, had to put up for sale their 3-bedroom home they bought 5 years ago, believing that Vegas will never sleep. But what happened kept them awake for months. Tourism plummeted, visitors declined, tips nearly vanished. Home insurance premiums skyrocketed, property taxes rose, and living costs climbed week by week. No one came to view their home, let alone buy it. Each passing month drained their bank account further. They didn't lose at the casino. They lost because the whole city was slowly turning into a powerless casino. Nevada was once a symbol of limitless growth, where homes were flipped as fast as a blackjack hand. But by 2025, that bubble is deflating uncontrollably. More than 15,000 homes are stuck in a long-term listing state, and many suburban neighborhoods have fallen silent. Home prices are dropping, but borrowing costs are rising. making every financial equation absurd. Who would still dare to buy when electricity prices soar, insurance premiums climb, and jobs become uncertain? Nevada is not just Las Vegas, but Las Vegas is the heartbeat of this state, and that heartbeat is faltering. Growth came too fast, too dependent on the service industry, too reliant on consumer sentiment. When Americans begin to tighten their belts, the entire ecosystem here starts to shake. Construction projects stop, investors pull out, and residents are left wondering whether to hold on or walk away from their homes. Remember, when Vegas starts turning off its lights, it's not just one city collapsing. It's a warning signal for the entire United States. Do you think Nevada will recover? Or is it heading toward the end? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next 8 states, where the risks are even greater. 8. Louisiana. When the storm sweeps away not only roofs, but also financial futures. In August 2021, Hurricane Ida devastated southeastern Louisiana, tearing off thousands of roofs and causing over $75 billion in damages. But what few talk about is the financial scar it left on residents, one that still lingers into 2025. After Ida, a series of insurance companies went bankrupt or withdrew from the state. From 2021 to 2025, more than 10 insurance carriers have left Louisiana, causing home insurance premiums to soar to over $6,000 per year, 4 times higher than the national average. Many homeowners are now afraid of both hurricanes and insurance. Unable to afford the mandatory premiums, they are forced to sell or abandon their homes. In cities like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lake Charles, the housing market is in free fall. Transactions are frozen, and housing inventory has risen by more than 30%. Meanwhile, the local economy, dependent on energy, ports, and tourism, is struggling to recover amid volatile oil prices and declining tourist numbers. Louisiana is facing not only a harsh climate but also a fragile financial system. Public debt is piling up, the population is shrinking, and infrastructure is severely deteriorating. Every heavy rainfall now threatens not only to flood neighborhoods, but also to drown the home ownership dreams of thousands of families. Louisiana is the clearest warning. Climate and finance are no longer 2 parallel lines. As living costs rise, risks increase, and incomes stagnate. This state is becoming a place to retreat from, not move into. Which state are you living in? And what's the housing situation there? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 7. California. When the American dream turns into a financial nightmare, one of America's largest corporations, Tesla, announced it would move its headquarters out of California. And that was just the first shot. Then came Oracle, followed by CBRE, Chevron, and a wave of other companies. The giants left, taking with them thousands of jobs, billions in investment capital, and triggering a mass exodus from the state like a receding tide. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. The median home price in California is nearing $900,000, about 2.5 times the national average, making it difficult even for 6-figure earners to buy a home. Meanwhile, home insurance premiums have surged by more than 35% in just 2 years, as companies like State Farm and Allstate stopped selling new policies in the state due to wildfires, extreme climate, and growing compensation risks. Imagine this: you're living in an $800,000 home with a massive mortgage, over 6% interest, and more than $4,000 a year in insurance, and then home prices start to plunge. You can't sell, you can't hold on, you can't escape. In 2024, more than 400,000 people left California. Not because they don't love the state, but because the cost of living has become unbearable. From income tax, property tax, insurance, electricity, water, gas, to fuel, everything is far above the national average. The housing market that was once California's pride is now slowing down. Transactions are falling, prices are dropping across many regions, and if the national market shakes, California will be the first to crash. Which state are you living in? And could you survive if the housing bubble bursts? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. 6. Texas. When the no-tax dream turns into a bill nightmare. In February 2021, the world was stunned when Texas was plunged into darkness, with millions losing power in the freezing winter. A state once proud of its strong energy sector and financial freedom suddenly became a symbol of fragile, overloaded infrastructure. But what's more frightening is that this was only the beginning of a chain of crises now drowning Texas's housing market. Texas was once a paradise destination for residents from California and New York, with an irresistible promise: income tax, zero, cheap housing, plenty of opportunities. But by 2025, the median home price in Texas has surpassed $360,000, and property taxes in many counties such as Dallas, Harris, and Travis have surged by 12–15% in just 2 years. The real estate boom of 2020–2022 has now cooled down. In Austin, once dubbed the second Silicon Valley, home prices have dropped nearly 10%, while inventory has risen 26%, a clear warning of a downward trend taking shape. Not only that, home insurance costs have jumped more than 40% in coastal regions increasingly vulnerable to hurricanes, floods, and extreme weather. Many homeowners now pay over $8,000 per year for insurance, not to mention electricity and water bills that keep rising through 115-degree Celsius summers. Texas once proudly said, "Everything is bigger here." But now, that bigger means financial burdens, a looming housing crisis, and the fear that comes when the bills arrive at the start of each month. Texas may not be the first to collapse. But when America's housing market starts to shake, don't be surprised if the Texas dream becomes the biggest fall of all. Which state are you watching from? Do you still think Texas is the promised land? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. 5. Hawaii. A retirement paradise or a financial trap for the 50-plus? How much are you willing to pay to live in a dreamland surrounded by sea and sky? Mary, 62, a retired teacher from California, decided to move to Maui, believing it would be her final paradise. But after just 18 months, she had to sell her 2-bedroom condo in a hurry and return to the mainland. The reason? Not because she didn't love Hawaii, but because her wallet couldn't keep up. Hawaii is now one of the most expensive places in the United States. The median home price is nearly $875,000, while the median household income is under $90,000. Coastal home insurance has risen by more than 35% in just 2 years, and many areas now have virtually no insurance companies willing to take on the risk. In Oahu, the number of homes sold has dropped sharply, while the average selling time has stretched to 4 months, a sign that the market is cooling, even as prices remain sky-high. Older residents living on fixed pensions now have to choose between paying for insurance or paying for medication. Living costs, from gas, electricity, and water to groceries, are 35–50% higher than the national average. And because Hawaii is an island, everything must be imported. When prices rise, seniors are the ones hit the hardest. But even when dark clouds roll in, it doesn't mean you have to abandon your dream. There are higher, quieter places where you can still hear the ocean from afar, without trembling through every hurricane season. There are small, warm-hearted communities where seniors are cared for, not just through policies, but through human kindness. And there are wise decisions. Not the most beautiful ones, but strong enough to carry you through the rest of your life. Which state are you living in? And have you ever thought about moving to Hawaii? Share your thoughts below. 4. Arizona. When the sun stops being a gift and becomes a burden. For more than 30 days each year, temperatures in Phoenix exceed 110 degrees, 43 degrees Celsius. In 2025, a 76-year-old man in Glendale died of heat stroke after his air conditioner broke down and no one noticed in time. The incident shocked the entire state because it was no longer an isolated tragedy, but a sign of a frightening reality. Arizona is becoming too hot to live in long term. Once known as the land of sunshine and affordable homes, Arizona became the top choice for retirees from California, Oregon, and the colder northern states. But that dream is slowly melting away under the relentless heat. The median home price has surpassed $435,000, while summer electricity bills can reach $400–500 per month. In Maricopa County, housing inventory has doubled in just one summer, and more than 27% of sellers have had to cut prices just to close a deal. Meanwhile, insurance premiums keep rising, and many companies have started tightening their policies due to wildfire and dust storm risks. Local residents are facing not only extreme weather, but also an overburdened infrastructure. Power grids, water supply, and healthcare systems can no longer support the explosive population growth of previous years. And now, as people move away, entire neighborhoods are left empty, yet costs haven't gone down. Arizona, once a place to start a new life, is now becoming a place many are forced to retreat from. Not because they dislike the sun, but because the sun has crossed the limit of endurance, physically and financially. Have you ever thought of Arizona as an ideal place to live or retire? After watching this video, do you still feel the same way? Share your thoughts below. Colorado. When million-dollar mansions become a winter burden. In January 2025, a 5-bedroom mansion in Aspen, once valued at over $4 million, was listed for just $2.9 million. The owners, a retired couple from Chicago, who moved here 5 years ago to enjoy their ski paradise. But they could no longer keep up with the rapidly rising maintenance fees and property taxes. And they're not alone. Colorado was once considered the jewel of the West, a perfect blend of natural beauty and high quality of life. But in 2025, the very factors that once made the Colorado dream are turning it into a financial nightmare. The median home price in Colorado has surpassed $580,000, while the average household income is only around $85,000. The price-to-income ratio has exceeded safe levels, making home ownership increasingly out of reach, especially for younger people and retirees living on fixed pensions. On top of that, Colorado faces severe climate challenges. Heat waves, wildfires, and snowstorms continuously damage roofs, roads, and infrastructure. Insurance costs have skyrocketed. Some forest-adjacent areas have seen increases of 60–80% in just 3 years. Several insurers have already withdrawn from high-risk zones, forcing residents to seek coverage through state programs with much higher premiums. In rural areas like Grand Junction or Pueblo, the situation is no better. Farmers are suffering crop losses from drought, while the sluggish housing market makes it hard to sell properties or secure loans for reinvestment. Colorado, once seen as the ideal place to resettle after retirement, is now becoming a place people are planning to leave. From Aspen to Aurora, those golden lands are growing cold, in both temperature and cash flow. Are you living in Colorado? What's the housing market like where you are? Share your thoughts below. Your story could be a valuable warning for others. 2. Washington. What happens when the tech giant runs out of breath? What happens to an economy almost entirely dependent on the tech industry when that industry starts cutting back? Washington, especially Seattle, was once the growth capital of the 21st century, powered by giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and hundreds of startups. But by 2025, the wave of layoffs has fractured the entire ecosystem. According to data from layoffs.fyi, more than 35,000 tech workers in Washington lost their jobs within just 12 months. And that impact isn't limited to office buildings. It's rippling through real estate. Home prices in Seattle have dropped over 12% in just 18 months. Inventory is rising, but buyers have disappeared. Once prime investment zones like Bellevue and Redmond are now stuck with long-term listings. Many luxury condos sit vacant for months, as former owners can no longer afford them, and new buyers don't dare take the risk. On top of that, Washington is one of the states with the highest property taxes and insurance costs in the Pacific Northwest. Combined with rising living expenses, fuel, food, healthcare, even the middle class is starting to panic. With mortgage rates still above 6%, buying a home in Seattle has become a risky gamble. And don't forget, Washington's gloomy climate, constant rain, and earthquake risks make many areas high insurance zones. Maintenance costs in such harsh weather are another reason many homeowners are eager to sell before it's too late. When the tech giants sneeze, Washington's entire housing market catches a cold. And when the bubble starts to deflate, those who exit early are the ones who lose the least. Are you watching from Washington? Do you think the market has bottomed out? Or is it still falling? Share your thoughts so others can gain perspective from your experience. 1. Florida. When the coastal paradise becomes the red zone of the housing crisis, do you remember the terrifying collapse of the Champlain Towers South condo in Surfside in 2021? 98 people died. Hundreds of families lost their homes overnight. But what's worse is that, since that tragedy, confidence in Florida's coastal real estate has never been the same. Florida, America's retirement paradise, has now become the epicenter of the housing crisis. More than a dozen insurance companies have withdrawn from the state in just a few years. Home insurance premiums have surged 210% since 2018. Many people now pay $5,407,000 per year, double or even triple the usual rate. Some saw increases of $600 to $800 per month, turning their mortgage into an unbearable burden. And that's for those who still have insurance. Millions of policies have been denied renewal. Florida now has the highest non-renewal rate in the entire country. No company wants to insure a home that could sink under hurricanes, storm surges, or rising seas. Hurricanes Ian 2022 and Idalia 2023 caused tens of billions in damages. But what's even scarier is that many residents no longer have insurance to rebuild after disasters. Once golden coastal areas like Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples are now filled with empty homes, no buyers, and plummeting prices. In South Florida, after the Surfside collapse, condo insurance and repair costs for older buildings have skyrocketed. Elderly residents in Miami-Dade and Broward are trapped between two painful choices: keeping their homes they can no longer afford, or selling them at a huge loss. The entire market is drowning in anxiety and uncertainty. Florida was once a place to retire and relax by the beach. But today, the ocean is no longer a companion. It's a constant threat. And when the national housing market crashes, the first to fall will likely be this sunny state. Are you living in Florida? Or have you ever dreamed of owning a vacation home here? Share your thoughts below, and let's find out together if the dream is still worth holding on to. We've just looked straight at the 10 states most at risk of freefall if the U.S. housing market collapses. Each one paints a different picture, but they all share one thing in common. Costs keep rising, while property values are starting to crack. For those aged 50 and above, a home isn't just a place to live. It's the bulk of their assets, their retirement safety net, and the result of a lifetime's work. But without caution, the very thing that once felt safest could become the heaviest burden. Remember this: the housing market doesn't crash loudly. It breaks silently, through every tax bill, every insurance hike notice, every quiet street filled with for sale signs. So before making any big decision, take a moment to look around. Is your state on this list? And if it is, do you already have a backup plan? Share your thoughts in the comments. Which state are you living in? And what's your sense of the housing market where you are? Your story might help thousands of others wake up. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next warnings.